Hey YouTube, Mark Kaufman here, and today I want to show you one of my favorite model knives that I have in my collection. Now, I unconsciously started collecting these specific models, and a viewer actually asked me, and this is the whole reason for this video, which model knife primarily takes up the most of your Victorinox collection, or the most space in it. And I thought to myself, well, that's a really good question if I had like 100 or 200 Swiss Army knives. I don't have that many, but I do have quite a few standards and Spartans and one tourist. So for me, I thought, you know what, this would make a great video. Not only to show you that even though some of these are very old and some of them are very new, Victorinox has stayed very consistent over the years in their form of their knives. So let's get started on these here. So right here, this one dates from 57 to 73. This 1, 2, 3, and 4 date from 76 to 86. And then this one right here dates from 86 to 92. And then both of these date from 2011 onwards. I'm actually suspecting these are about 2020 or even maybe 2019 since I got them this year. So for me personally, I have started collecting these not only because they are the officer's knife and they're the classic Swiss Army knife, but because they're so easy to carry and very easy to use. So let's get started with the oldest one. This is a Victorinox Standard. Originally, they called these the Standard or Spartan. It just depended on where you bought it, or it depended on if it had the toothpick or tweezers. Now, this one here has no toothpick or tweezers, so this one is actually designated as a Standard. Now, if you are going to buy a Spartan, you're going to have the toothpick and tweezers. The Tourist also has the toothpick and tweezers, but the rest of these are all going to be standards. And that's actually where I really like to collect these. I don't use the toothpick and tweezers all that much, and I don't find much use for them. The toothpick maybe to reset your Wi-Fi, and the tweezers for the occasional splinter. But really, what I love about these solid scales are that there is no breakup or disruption in the scale itself. There's no disruption in the form of the scale. As I spit all over this knife, I'm sorry about that. So this one here, like I said, is from 57 to 73, so it's going to have some older features. Now, one of those features is going to be your 5-turn corkscrew. Let's real quick take a look at which one? 76 to 86. So you've got the 4-turn on the right, and then you got the 5-turn on the left. So after that, we have the older awl, and the older awls have like a sharpening notch put into the tip of them, as you can see right there, and it also has a different shape to it. Also, what I've noticed is the sharpening point, or the edge, starts way down here and then goes outward, whereas on your modern and then your more contemporary models don't have that. Now, this one here does have the sharpening notch. So this one is going to be a little bit older, so it's going to probably be in the late 70s. So then also what you're going to get on the older Spartans or on the older Standards is you're going to get the clip point blade, which is right here. And I believe they stopped doing this in 73, and it's a real pity because I really like these clip point blades. Now over here you can see the Tang stamp right here. Victorinox, Switzerland, stainless roast fry, and then the back, Victoria Officer Suisse. And there's your nice shiny blade with oil on it. Sorry about that. Now, this one does not have the Swiss Pat can opener on it, but I do have an upcoming project over here, and it's a little bit of a preview, but this one does have the Pat number on it. So that was a little bit of a sneak peek of what's coming up next. But yeah, the older ones had the patent on the can opener. And then the cap lifter wire stripper here does not have the sharpened wire stripper. So this is going to probably be an early 70s model, and probably maybe 71, maybe 69. It's probably 71, 72. So we've got that. Now for this standard here, this one I picked up for, I think it was like $6 on eBay, and I have cleaned this one up. I polished the scales, cleaned up the knife, made sure it was all good and ready to go. Cleaned up the blade. Has some pitting spots on it, some rusting spots, but I did clean this blade up, polished it. It looks fantastic. There we go, Victorinox Switzerland stainless roast fry. And then Officer Suisse, and then you've got the crossbow. So there's another change. Can opener's the same. Then you have the same cap lifter right there. But now we've got the spear point blade covered in oil. Sorry about that. So we got the spear point, and like I said before, we have the 4-turn corkscrew with the groove in there. So for me personally, the groove is going to help you get the cork out a little bit better, and I mean, take it or leave it. It does look pretty though. Now this one I do carry. All these I carry. I don't carry the older model, just primarily because it's getting harder to find, and it's in very good condition. So here we go to this one. Now this one I believe is going to be a little bit of a younger one, and that is because it doesn't have the sharpening notch on the tip of the awl. And I have actually found that these awls are sharper than the more modern ones. I don't know why. They ground them a little more differently back then, I guess. And essentially this is going to be the same fare as that one, just the awl is different. Now you're probably wondering, why do I collect these specifically? Well, they are 2-layered knives. They're very easy to carry, and when you pull this out of your pocket, you can say this is the Swiss Army knife. This is the Swiss soldier's knife, and it is a classic. And for me personally, I don't like the key rings. This is actually one of my favorites. I've been carrying it a ton because it has no key ring. It just dangles around, gets caught on stuff, and when you're actually using the small blade here, you kind of have to hold it unless you're going to get it in all of your stuff that you're cutting. So where was I on this? So move to this one, move to this one. I do carry this one quite a bit. This one here I did find in this condition. So this one right here, these are pretty much all essentially the same. There's only very small, minimal differences in them, but overall they are all exactly the same. Now this one I actually, and if I can remember correctly, yes, this one I actually showed off in a past video, and I was going to put it in my mint condition knife collection. And I just thought, you know what, why would I put this in that collection? It's just a standard. This is in like my rare collection, and here I use all these with no problems. Why would I not use this one? So I ended up using this one, and I've been carrying it quite a bit. Now this one here I picked up today, and this one was almost like new condition. This thing was never used. I don't know why. It's so perfect. It is in such great condition, and I just don't know why it was never used, but I picked this up for $5 on eBay in this condition. I have done nothing to it. Only had that little scuff there, and that was it. But I have been carrying it, so it will be used. It will be loved. And on these knives, up until I think it was 85, I think it was 85 or so, that they started including the 90-degree stop on the Celador models. Can't remember off the top of my head. Correct me if I'm wrong if you know. Then this one here is the one I've been carrying a ton ton. And you can probably see that these scales have a dent in it in the cross. There's some scuffs, there's some marks. This one actually has a company logo on the back of it, and I really enjoy this one. You can see all the pocket lint there because I do carry this one a lot. This one is just so nice. When it's in the hand, there's no key ring back here to kind of bother you. When you're using the small blade, you don't have to worry about that getting anywhere. You can just do whatever you need to do. And when you're using the cap lifter, you've got that there. Now this one does have the 90 degree, so this is going to be probably an 86 modeled knife, or maybe even probably late 85. So this one here is definitely one that I use quite a bit. Now this one is a Tourist. Now one of the things that is great about the Tourist is that it is 84 millimeters. These are all 91, this is 84, and what that means for you is it's going to be a very compact, simple carry in your pocket. Now we have the newer stamp, Victorinox Swiss Made Stainless Officer Suisse. And that is really what Victorinox is going after on their tank stamps. And now we can take a look at the newer awl, which has the sewing eye in it. And again, I feel like the grind on the awl is a little different, a little less so of a grind further down. Yeah, it is. So it doesn't go as far down. It definitely goes deeper into the awl, I think. It's just very interesting, these small changes. I really feel like Victorinox is kind of like Rolex when it comes to watches. They do not do things very quickly, and when they actually do it, it is a very minimal change to their product line. Now this one does have the 90 degree stop, but what's different is it does have the, I guess, tension divot in the 90 degree. So when you have it in this position, it's a little harder to close in comparison to the standard 90 degree stop, which has no divot in it. So when you have it in this position, you can actually close it a little bit easier. So that's a small difference there. And then we have at the very end your, well, modern Spartan. This one is in white. I preferred getting the white one just because it's a little different. I don't have a modern Spartan in my collection, and this one I have been using quite a bit. Sharpened it a little bit there at the back end, and this one is just one that I use quite often. It's easy to find because of that stark white finish, and for me personally, it's just, again, that simple 2-layer construction. So I thought you guys would enjoy this video, especially you viewer out there that gave me this idea. I know this is all the same knife, but you can definitely see where each one has its changes. So thank you guys again for checking out my channel. Until the next one, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.